Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another Truth Tuesday. It hasn't become another series that I've just brushed under the rug. This is actually coming to you as a miniature mukbang. Mukbang, still don't know. I feel like people who do them every day don't even know how to pronounce a mukbang properly. Regardless, I'm calling this a miniature mukbang because I'm just going to be eating a cherry cheesecake. Cherry cheesecake, say that 12 times fast, while answering some questions. Oh wow. Shot my new shirt, by the way. Got it from H&M the other day and I'm absolutely in love. I'll leave a link if I can find it anywhere online. But if you don't know what Truth Tuesday is, in simple terms, I pick out a truth that you guys have sent me in the video comments and I basically answer it without bluffing or telling lies, telling fibs. I'm quite an open book. I'm quite a transparent person. I just like talking with a lot of depth and talking about things that other people kind of stick their nose up at. Like, I'm all about that kind of thing. So that's where this series started and this is where it continues, because you guys need to keep on leaving in the comments your favourite truths down there and I can shove them all. I literally, if you've asked me a truth, it is in this tub, and if I haven't picked it out yet, then I guess your truth just doesn't want to be answered. So keep on leaving them, keep on tweeting me them, Instagramming me them, whatever it is you got contacting me on. I mean, everyone watching this video has contact with me through comment sections, so leave them down below. Also, I don't put any back in or like throw it away if I don't like the question. They are all going in. I can't stress that enough. This question comes from Bright Eyes Burn Blue. Amazing username. Let me know if you want to stay anonymous, by the way, because I won't read out your usernames if you do. This came from Instagram and she/he asked, who is the person you look up to the most within the YouTube community? I look up to anyone who's doing YouTube full time, particularly smaller YouTubers, because I think it's amazing how well they are managing to make that their full-time thing, even if it's not as easy as the people who are bigger and just have bigger numbers and can relax a little bit more because they might not necessarily need to do as much, who are creative and can edit amazingly and can shoot things really nicely. So Shane Dawson comes to mind immediately. Amazing. I've always liked his personal stuff and I'm so thrilled with how he's finally moved into a more personal direction on his channel. I look up to that a lot as well because I don't make content like he does, but my stuff's personal as well, and I much preferred it when he used to do that back in the day, like on his vlogging channel. And then I will look up to daily vloggers, so I'll look up, I don't really watch daily vloggers much anymore, but I look up to them because of the consistency. It's amazing. I don't think I would be able to literally, I love YouTube as much as I love making videos. I don't know if it's something I'll be able to do every single second of the day because it would grind me down and it would start becoming more of a chore than a hobby and an interest, and I want it to be constantly something I'm passionate about, and I don't want it to ever be like, oh god, I've got to do this today. I like the fact I can schedule my day out and my week out and my month out exactly how I want it to be. A whole lot of beauty channels for keeping up to date with all the news and stuff and trends and stuff, and some of the makeup routines you see on here are insane. I really look up to Atlee. She's been a favourite YouTuber of mine for ages and her looks are just insane, so that part inspires my more makeup-y side, mainly just their dedication. And if you have a hobby in anything, everyone else having the same hobby as you is immediately an inspiration to you. Let's say if you're really into clothes making, everyone else that you know in the community that does that is going to be an inspiration to you of some sort. Even if the stuff they make isn't the same stuff as you're making, it's still insane to see other people making their passion their living. So oh, and OG YouTubers who have been around since I was a little girl are the ones I really look up to because they're still playing the game, even though those ones are the ones that probably feel the less welcome here because they're kind of like the old has-beens, but they're still pumping out the content regardless of how much they're pumped out and for how long, and they haven't run out of steam and they're still trying to play that YouTube game without getting fed up. And I think that's really inspiring because I think it's more difficult if you're an old YouTuber than it is if you're a fresh new one and you have loads of ideas out there because you haven't been around for so long and you need that place to put it out, whereas the old ones, they've kind of done it all before and they're still finding new things. Ooh, I picked out two. Do the big one first and then the little one. It doesn't actually say who this one was from. I don't know if I was messaged this one by someone, but it says, do you ever get some people who comment on your posts or view your broadcasts that you get tired of? Literally no, never in a million years, unless you're someone who is gonna say the same predictable stuff all the time that I'm clearly not answering because I don't want to, or if you're just a troll, or if you're just saying nasty things, or if I know you're hate watching. If I've seen people say nasty stuff to me and then I notice that they're always coming back to watch more or coming back just to say negative stuff again, then I'm gonna get tired of you. But other than that, like if you're just here to enjoy yourself and have a good time, I'm just gonna be like, wow, they are very dedicated and like me a lot for some reason, and that's cool, but I won't be able to understand why, but it's still cool and I wouldn't get tired of that. It's a cherry. Oh my god, this tastes so good. Cathenius? What animal do you relate to the most and why? Definitely a crab. That's my star sign. I build a shell, aka a wall around me, and kind of like poke my head out every now and again just to test the waters to see if the person I'm with is cool or not. If they are, I'm completely like open and happy. But the minute I feel uncomfortable, I suck back into my shell and I keep my shell around me at all times just in case I need to do that. I love water. Love it so much. It makes me feel very calm. I love like burnt oranges. Like the colour burnt orange, not burnt oranges, that would be disgusting. I come from I was born in like a seaside town. I'm a bit like a Scorpio in that sense, like when they sting randomly every so often because something was really pissed them off, I'm a bit like that. But instead I do this, I snap a little bit. I have like a big fuse, but as soon as that goes down, then you're gonna get a nice old bite in the ass. And I walk sideways. Renee_XO from Instagram says, do you ever think of quitting YouTube altogether? I really hope you don't. I love your videos. Thank you. So there's been like, oh my god, freaking wasp, what the hell are you doing? Go away. If you've got bright coloured hair, insects think that you're a flower. I'm not even joking. I watched a bee the other day hop around these flowers and like do his business, and then the flower was pink and he literally came right on over and was doing the same thing on this pink side of my hair, and then he realised that's not a flower and he buggered off. But it made me laugh. I was like, wow, I'm really mistaken for a flower. I must be beautiful. As YouTube's always been something that I've enjoyed and something that's like just a passion of mine, it's very hard just to like want to give up on that. I've never wanted to give up on it because I've lost like the passion for making videos and being creative. Like I've always had that about me, but the things that have kind of made me at one point kind of want to give up is the competition. It's very difficult. As I was saying, I have been on here for quite a while and my channel hasn't really grown much. I've always just consistently made stuff at an okay level. I've gotten, like recently this year, I've come to terms with that and just felt more comfortable with that, because there was a long time where I was really getting myself down for that. And I remember like saying to Adam, like, I feel fed up. There was times when I cried to him. I was like, this isn't working and I can't do this anymore full time. And I know you could say boo-hoo, you're not doing it full time, but that kind of step to like doing something else alongside it kind of to me felt like failure, and it felt like I was going to be sacrificing a huge amount of my time doing something else, and that really petrified me, because that would mean I'd be putting less time into this, and therefore even less would be coming out of it. And that used to scare me, because in a way you are giving it up a little bit, because it's going to have an effect on like your traffic and amount of content you're bringing out a month. And so yeah, I'm going off a bit on a tangent, but the whole like competition and numbers was one of the main things that has made me want to quit once. And then another time was when I got really serious about, you know, finishing uni and then deciding what I wanted to do after uni. And I remember doing like a really overwhelming amount of research into like taxes and being self-employed and stuff in a really short space of time in my life, and I really panicked myself, and I was like, oh my god, this is so stressful. Getting a job would just be so much easier, and like it's really frightening to think about the fact I'll be doing this full time and with nothing else. And it was scary but frightening, so I was like, I'm just gonna quit and find a normal job and do what everyone else is doing. And there was like a moment where everyone was like, I'm gonna do this after graduating, I'm gonna do that. I was thinking, maybe I should just kind of like copy what they're doing because it seems easier. It was basically frightening to me to think of what I was doing and make that more of like an adult thing, as in like being able to pay your bills with all that money. It was just really frightening, and I started getting really worried and just thought I could do the safe route. And most people would probably say that this, like me doing this, is like a safe route because I'm self-employed, I'm still at home, like I don't have to like go out and do the stereotypical job that everyone else does. But to me that sounds easier because it's what everyone else does, and it's kind of like the norm. But this is so weird. It's way more scary to me because it's not, you know, set in stone. I don't have anyone who can like reference me really basically. Being self-employed is a lot more risky as well. You don't really know what's around the corner. You haven't got many people supporting you, and it is just a whole lot more scarier. So I want to do something else because this is scary, even though I loved it so much. So it was like really frightening, and it was a scary time in my life. What am I doing? Then there was like a realization moment where I was like, hey, I always tell other people that if you're not scared of your own dreams, then you're not dreaming big enough. What am I doing? I'm scared of a dream that I really want to achieve, and I'm running from it because it's scary, when that's exactly what you need to be. If you have big enough dreams, you need to be frightened of them. You're bound to be frightened of them because they seem so like far-fetched and scary, and you don't really know whether it will happen or not. You don't know how it will work if it happens. You don't know the far future from that. It's unknown territory kind of thing. I just remember being really frightened about it. So basically, the moral of that story is don't quit on your dreams because they seem scary. And just because you feel like everyone else is doing better than you doesn't necessarily mean they are. If you quit, you never know what's just around the corner, and you never know what could happen if you didn't quit and carried on doing it. And then little do you know, a month later after you quitting, you could have had like an amazing opportunity that you would have missed out on. If I decided to do something else and put all my time into that and not really enjoyed myself, I would have not had the really cool couple of years I've had recently, because of the fact that I'm scheduling my own time and able to do all of these cool opportunities and stuff because of my freedom. I don't really know how many I'm going through. I usually just keep going until I feel like I've been talking for years. How long? 4 minutes? That doesn't seem right. Oh no, I stopped the camera, didn't I? Okie dokie, the next one comes from Instagram again, and it's Danielle underscore Ingrid, and she asks, what do you think / hope your life will be like in 10 years time? Okay, I'm quite like a really boring dreamer. I mean, I just literally told you guys to dream big, but in long term, honestly, all I really want is just to be comfortable, support myself. Whatever I had to do to get to that point is a different story, but since I was a kid, I never saw myself born to be a mum. Giving birth makes me quake. So family doesn't necessarily always come to mind, but I always immediately, when anyone asks me a question like this, the main part of my brain just screams loving what I do, because I've never been in a situation where I'm doing a job that I absolutely hate, and I see other people going through that, and I know that's such just like a normal way of life, and that's petrifying to me. Like, it makes me very sad, and all I hope for is that, and obviously a partner. I want to be happily married, definitely by 10 years. Whether I want a baby or not is not necessarily that important to me. It'd be more important to me if that's what my partner wanted, but for me, I just want to be happy, and like, I want to go on lots of holidays and be traveling, and I want to just be happy and content with someone and have like that person as my best mate, doing all these really cool things with me and having cool experiences, and us both having jobs that we love. Oh wow, I've got water on this one, so it's a little bit funky. This question's actually from Ellie Nicholas, who has been one of my biggest long-term Patreon supporters, so love your face. Is there any of your videos you were really excited about and thought that would do well that actually didn't? Also, any advice for someone who has just started out on YouTube? Just continue. Create, and just work. Most people who start it now kind of see people who have made it and done really well, and they kind of have that in the forward part of their brain, and they charge towards that in hopes it's going to happen, and then it doesn't, and then they crash and burn, and they're like, oh, it's not worth it, and they get upset. Advice I would give is, if you're not here to enjoy it, then leave. Is pretty much the best thing I can say, because there's no advice I can give to you if you enjoy it anyway. It's like kind of someone saying, give me advice on what to write my book about, for example. That needs to come from you. Like, I can't tell you what to do or how to do it. The whole point of being on YouTube is to do it the way you want, set your own rules and make your own stuff. Like, sure, I can say to you things about like marketing and how to promote your channel and that kind of stuff, but I really don't honestly concentrate too much on that. I just kind of keep on posting stuff and keep on enjoying it in the long run, and the rest just comes back to you, really. Like, what you put out is what you get in return a lot of the time. Not always, unfortunately, but just keep on doing stuff that you enjoy. That's the biggest and best piece of advice I could give, because I wouldn't want to tell you anything else that goes against what you like and what you enjoy about YouTube. So just keep on posting the stuff that you like watching yourself, and be inspired by others, but don't clone others. Now, for the first part of your question, when you were like, have you ever been really excited about making something that didn't do very well? Yes, that's probably the reason why a lot of my series that I start end up not being continued, because I'm like, people didn't enjoy that as much as I expected. No one's gonna take a series seriously, and no one's gonna stick around if they know that you're just gonna start something new and not continue it. So that was something that I've always struggled with. I've always overestimated the amount of good feedback I'd get in like the first episode or something, and then I end up going, oh, I can't be bothered because no one really enjoyed it as much as I thought. I'm not gonna lie and say no, I don't expect much, because I know how much time goes into things and how much time goes into planning and then shooting and then editing and uploading and then promoting, and then you kind of think, oh wow, I put X amount of hours into this. Did I really get back the amount that I was sort of expecting in that whole run up to the actual upload and post day? I think pretty much every YouTuber will say, like, almost all of their videos that they put out, maybe, I don't know, maybe they all won't say this, but if you're a small YouTuber, then the content you put out isn't usually met to your expectations unless you get put in the trending page, or your video shared everywhere, or it gets placed somewhere cool on the internet, or like the views do a little bit better than normal. If they do that, then that's cool, but if they're just on the average, I'm a bit like, oh, okay, I mean, it's fine. I'm happy just putting them down under as my other types of content in that kind of category of view numbers, but most of the time it's a bit frustrating, which is why I say to people that you can't do this unless you enjoy it, because if I was doing it just to get a higher view count than last week, then I would have given up by now. It's about being consistent and remembering why you're doing it in the first place and just enjoying it, because like I said, if it wasn't that enjoyment of me making videos anyway, and me making videos if YouTube wasn't around anyway, I still would have probably gone into that. I would have just said, what the hell, don't even like making videos that much anyway, and I would have found a different hobby and different passion elsewhere and just moved into that. This is real good. I love cheesecake. My favourite cheesecake I've ever had is Snickers cheesecake. I'm going to do one more because I'm not really sure how long this video is, and it's going to be a really quick fire one. Crazy Fantasy. What's the worst breakup you've ever had? I've spoken about this like plenty of times on my channel before. It wasn't necessarily a bad breakup, it was just my first one, because like you're all young and innocent and you're like sensitive because it's new, and it was the first time someone's ever actually like broken up with me, and like, well, I say the first time, it was the only time, and it was the only time because of it being my first relationship anyway. It was new territory, and I was like, I don't know how to deal with this. I was kind of like so fixed in having you here for the rest of my life in a way, and that was scary to see someone reject you for the first time. Any form of rejection is not very nice, and I was like hugely in love, and I really liked them, and I thought they were a really cool person. I didn't in the beginning, but they convinced me that they were cool, and they were cool, and I think we got along well, and I think we had a lot in common. I still think they're a decent person. I still see them every now and again, and it's like, hey, how you doing? Good. But like, not on the same wavelengths. But at the time, it took about 2 years for me to fully say, yeah, I'm over you. Maybe even 3. I moved on, but like I still had a little bit of a soft spot for them, even like 3 years down the line. And it was a very difficult time. I remember losing loads of weight. I really hated myself. I barely went outside. I didn't really want to do much. I kind of like lost the passion for life for a little bit, and it was a time where I was a bit nervous to go outside because I was constantly worried if they were going to be there, and I was a bit self-conscious about that. I got self-conscious about myself because I was like, oh god, if they don't like me, then everyone else thinks the same thing as they do, and no one really truly likes me anyway. And oh god, it was a very big learning curve for me, and dark time, because I was just, it was 2 years full of self-sabotage, really. And the last part of that question is, how many boyfriends have you had? Long-term and proper relationships? Then I would say 3 main ones, really. That's including the one I'm in now, so not many. I mean, that's pretty good for someone who's 23. I was with each of those for more than a year. It was 1 year, 3 year, 2 year. So I'm a long-term kind of girl. I hate the idea of dating someone for like 2 months. I'd feel really dirty. I'd be like, how dare I let him into my life and he wasn't long-term committed. I'm very long-term, and I'm a committed, kind of loyal sort of person, me. Anyway, I'm going to put an end to this now. I hope you enjoyed. Keep them coming, like I said. I need to see as many as humanly possible so I can shove them all into my pot. Join me on social media if you haven't already to catch me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Thank you very much to all my Patreons for being so lovely and supporting me continuously. I really appreciate your butts. You make me continue doing this full time. As I said, that was big stress in my life, and it still is stressful every day, trust me. So it's good to have that bit of weight lifted off my shoulders, and I'll see you for my next video, guys. Have a good day.